Hey guys, welcome back. So in this session for the RAT course, we're going to be designing our remote file manager. By the way, sorry guys, I've not been posting videos lately. I've been pretty busy with personal life matters. So, okay, to get going, go ahead and open your RAT. Make sure you've got the server open, and make sure you've also subsequently got this client open as well. So, once you've got them both open, we're going to create a new form. Now I've already got mine created, but you need to go to File, New, VCL Form, Delphi to create a new form, okay? Once your new form is created, you can size it however you'd like. I've given mine a little folder icon and a title of Remote File Manager with a client ID as a fake templated thing there. So we're going to go ahead and start designing this in the best way that we can, which personally I think we should go about it like this. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a list view and slap that down right there. Let's copy this and paste it over here. So there's a list view 1 and a 2. I'm going to put the list view 1 about right here. Also, we need a status bar. So get yourself a T-status bar and slap it down. So we're going to take these, try to make them even out as best you can. Hold down Alt and drag if you need to kind of precision them. And I'm going to drag this one all the way down to about right here. Make sure you get right flush against that status strip or status bar, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to do the same with this one here. I almost feel like I'm like in one of those fucking cooking shows. Like, make sure you get the batter just right. Okay, so columns editor. So right click on the left list view, the list view 1, right click, go to columns editor, make a new column, make sure it's auto sized, and make sure the caption is going to be path. So now that you've got that done, here, let me click OK on this. Let this thing kind of screw me over like it does sometimes. And I'm using my mouse here, boys, but I'm not very good at getting shit straight. Okay, so there we go. Now let's change the view style of the list view 1 to VS report. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to work on the right one. So on the right one, we're going to want to go to the columns editor, and we're going to create 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to select them all, auto size them all. The first one is going to be a caption of. We're going to make it a caption of file name. This one will be of size. This one will be attribute. And this will be last changed or modified. Okay, great. Now we can close that out. Go all the way to the bottom. Make sure the view style on this is also set to report. Guys, this is actually looking pretty damn good. So guys, to continue this, let's go ahead and let's edit the bottom status bar. So right click, go to panels editor. We're going to add 4 panels. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Select them all. There's really no stretch option here. We'll just go one by one. So click the first one, which is actually placeholder 0, then 1, 2, and 3. So 0 first, the text will be something like path in -A because there is no path. The next one, we need to say DIRS for directories, 0 by default. And then on this status panel, we will put files, 0. Subsequently. And then on the last one, we will put size in -A. So at this point, we want this to be left justified, but we want at least probably 250 on that, maybe 350 on that, maybe 550 on that. That looks a lot better. This one here can be right justified. This one can also be right justified, and this one can also be right justified. Now we want to come here, put a space after the last character, which is a 0 in this case. Do the same with this one, guys. Put a space there. And you can also do the same on the last one as well, okay? Just makes it look a lot better. So on this one, instead of that, put at least 100. Also for this one, maybe put 100 as well. And then for the last one, you want that to be 150, something like that, maybe 200. Okay, much better. So now let's close that out. And as you can clearly see, it's starting to turn into a file management system, right? So we need a pop-up menu. Actually, we're going to need a couple of them. So let's throw one here and let's throw one over here. Keep them separated. That way you know where they belong. The pop-up menu 1 will be assigned to the path list view or list view 1. The pop-up menu 2 will go to list view 2. So 1 goes with 1, 2 goes with 2. A lot easier to remember it that way, right? So select the list view 1 and go down to pop-up menu and assign it the pop-up menu 1. And then go to the list view 2. So select the list view 2 and go down to pop-up menu and assign it the pop-up menu 2. Perfect. Now we've got those set up. So let's go ahead and start developing our pop-up menus. So for pop-up menu 1, we're going to have some stuff that's going to be more for like directories, if you will, not files, but directories, like directories, drives, etc., right? So for the caption of the first one, let's put delete folder. For the next one, let's go ahead and try to make like a rename. How about rename folder? For this, we can do list drives. How about a refresh directory? And then for the bottom, we need a way to go back. So there. So that's great. Now we can save that. So guys, make sure you copy off me. If you need to see this, it's going to be the one that pops up right over here when you right click. When you right click there, you're going to get this menu on that. Now we can work on the next one. So let's just make sure you have this exactly like that. And then we'll move over to this one. Now on this one, it's a little bit different because we're messing with files. We're going to have a lot more to do over here. So we're going to have to add in some really cool stuff. So let's go here and put rename file. Then let's come down and do delete file. Then let's do maybe encrypt file. So we're going to do encryption and decryption. Decrypt file. And then we will do, for this one, I was going to make a search functionality for y'all, but I think we'll skip this for now. Let's right click on this, like here, delete this one, right click, insert separator. And then we'll come down below the separator and we're going to continue with download file, okay, and upload file, like that. Now we're going to create a new separator. So insert separator, come below the separator, and we're going to create execute file. And we're going to also do execute hidden. So that will do just fine. Just make sure you copy what I did and you'll be fine, okay? So now we save that and we have an entire file management platform that's going to be fully set up and ready to roll. And guys, I'm going to give you a sneak peek at exactly what this will kind of look like whenever it's actively live and running on our rat. So here, let me show you a picture. This is what it's going to look like whenever we actually get it going. It's going to show you the path to where you're browsing, how many directories there are in the current pathway, how many files there are in the current directory that you're browsing, and the total amount of size from all the files and everything calculated inside that directory. And you'll be able to see the file's name with subsequently the file's icon. You'll also be able to see its size, its attributes, and the last changed and modified date and timestamp of the file when it was last changed and modified. Pretty cool stuff, right? So, other than this, we're going to need an open dialog box. And we're also going to need a save dialog box. These will be used for opening and sending files and also saving downloaded files, you understand? Now, we're also going to require an image list. Now, I'm going to be using just a regular old image list for this. I'm going to throw it right over here. And I'm going to call it files or file icons. I'm just going to call it file icons, okay? And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to save that. Okay, guys, now if you followed along up to now, you should have a fully designed remote file management form ready to roll, okay? So with that in mind, let's go ahead and make sure everything is saved. Make sure you've got everything copied and ready to roll. And we are going to hop back over to Form 1 because we've got a little bit of work to do. So the number one thing we have to worry about, and if you'll notice on the code of the remote file management form, it's T-Form 6, so keep that in mind. Go back to Form 1. So what we're going to have to do is set up the ability to clone this form and also release it from memory. So let's go ahead and do as we always do, guys. This is the same exact old stuff that we do every single stinking time. We just come on down to the point where we have our T dictionaries and whatnot dealt with. So essentially, you'll just scroll down through here and look for where you've declared your T dictionary classes and stuff for each of the cloned forms right here. You see all these? So we can copy this, for example, and come down a little bit more. And this will be the remote file manager form instances by client ID. Rename this remote file manager forms like that. It's going to be a T dictionary of cardinal type T-Form 6. Okay, so if you get this red line on the T-Form 6, that is because you have not included the remote file management Pascal unit in this unit. So what you have to do is scroll all the way to the top of your code, all the way up, and look for your uses here. You see how I did like remote task manager, webcam, blah, blah. All you got to do is come down and paste, and that will be that. And then you can make a new comment. This is, here, I'll just do form for viewing and controlling remote files, something like that, just whatever. So there you have it. Now you can come back down to where you just wrote that code and you'll see that it works. Now we have to worry about a couple more places in this. We have to worry about actually creating this on the form create event procedure. So let's go back to our form, go to events on create. You'll notice that it's just right here. So just paste this on in. We're going to do remote file manager forms is going to be equivalent to creating a T dictionary of cardinal tform6.create. And that's that, boys. That's how you do it. Now we have to also worry about the deletion of these this in the same way that we've done all the rest of this crap. So we're going to copy this and we're going to go to the onForm destructor class or on destroy event. So as you can see, we're closing, like closing, all the same crap, right? And we're also freeing it down below. So let's copy one of these, just copy the comment as well, and then paste it in and say free all remote file manager forms instances. So now we're going to say remote audio capture forms. No, we want remote file manager forms. So copy this remote and just everywhere you've got this, just paste it in and paste it in. Erase the S for there because we need remote file manager form right there. It's going to show red because we haven't added a variable yet, so don't freak out. And then there's this, so form.free. And that's that. Now down here, we want to go boom, and we want to free that out. So now for this one that's red, all you have to do is scroll up, and you see how we did this one here is a T form 6. And that's it. Problem resolved, boys. Now it'll properly die out whenever you close your program. So now we have to worry about one other placeholder, which is going to be the onDisconnect event procedure. So let's pop on down through here and see how we're doing close, 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 blah, 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 free everything out. So what we're going to do is copy the bottom one. We're also going to go to here, before we go any further, Remote File Manager Forms, form rather, is a T form 6. Reference to the file manager clone form. So now you can come down all the way and you can paste the code that we just got. So this is remote file manager forms, like that, right? So I'm going to copy that. This is form. This is also form. And this is forms. And that's it. Save. Problem resolved. Now we have a fully blown setup cloned form, able to do whatever the hell we want it to do. Make sure that you guys go into project options. Make sure you're checking that all created forms in this project. See this auto-generated forms, form 6, that's not good. Make sure that form 1 is auto-created. Make sure that every other form is available. Got it? And then you can hit save. Okay, save the project. Now, we're going to focus on other stuff. So let's go to the remote task manager form, just because I'm lazy. I'm going to go to the on form close event procedure, and we're going to just copy this and close this out. So now we'll go back to the file manager and we'll go to the event of on close, and we're going to paste those codes right there. However, for this, we're going to say .remote. Here, I'm going to click run real quick, guys, because I'm lazy. I don't want to add the unit myself. It just adds it for us. Just hit yes. And then now I can actually just type form1 .remote file manager forms .remove client ID and free the action, blah, blah, blah. The client ID will be a public client ID cardinal. And that's that. Problem resolved. Okay, cool. Guys, that sets you up 100% with the ability to clone the remote file manager form, just like we've done every single time since I've started this course with you guys. It's the same shit, different story, different day, right? All right, so let's go ahead and make sure that this bad boy actually works, shall we? So to do that, we're going to have to write some program code. So on the client pop-up menu, you see how we have broadcast, desktop capture, mic, webcam, you know, all this? We're going to add one more, and it's going to be file manager. Okay, and we're going to go to that code. But first, we're going to go to desktop capture, okay? And we're going to take all from variable all the way down to the bottom of the code right there. And we're going to go back to this, go to File Manager, and we're going to paste that on in. Now this is going to be a T-form 6, and this will be remote file manager form. Okay, so now you can copy this for the remote file manager form. So we come down in here and we say the current client is the pointer string to our list items data, which we're hiding. The current client ID will be a string to int the current client, which is a cardinal. And we're going to then say, what about remote file manager forms? Try to get the value of the current client's ID to the actual manager form. Manager form, manager form, manager form, manager form, manager form, manager form, form, form. Okay. now I've probably just added a bunch of stuff we don't even need. So what we'll do is we're going to say that the client ID is this, the file manager form, add current client ID, remote file manager form. This is to register the tracking dictionary. So this is actually going to say forms. So now that we've pretty much got this down to an art, more or less, this is T form 6, by the way, boys, not 2. That's why it's having an error. Okay, so everything looks great. So let's go through this one more time. When we click on to open up our file manager, we're going to need 3 variables. We're going to get the client ID, the current client is a string, the client ID, which is a cardinal, which links to that exact user, and the remote file manager form, which is T-form 6. Now, if we haven't selected anything or anybody, we're going to exit and do nothing. Otherwise, we're going to get the current client out of the list views data property that we currently have selected on their item. We're going to get the current client ID, and then we are going to say, try to get the value and see if we already have a cloned form open with this user. If not, then if it does exist, we're just going to bring it to the front and show it. Otherwise, it's time to create a brand new cloned form and do all this magic, right? So we're going to say remote file manager form is a T-form 6 create application. Remote file manager form client ID is the current client ID that we grepped. And then we are going to say remote file manager forms add current client and that form to the tDictionary class that we created. Then we're going to set our forms caption to, and this is going to change to file manager and then the client ID. And then we're going to show the clone form and be finished. Perfect. Save. So let's go ahead and actually give this a run and see if it actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and run the rat, and we are going to then run the client, if you will, and we're going to see what happens. Now, I don't have an icon on the pop-up menu, so let's go ahead and auto-listen, turn this on, and get the person. Let's click on them, right-click. I don't have an icon yet. No big deal. We'll fix that in a minute. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to get this is the client that we're currently controlling. And as you can see, I can right click, I can rename files and all this and that. I can right click over here and delete the folder. I can go back, blah, blah, blah. Very cool stuff, right? So this is the beginning of what we're trying to do here. So again, if I close the client, then that also subsequently dies out. Perfect. Guys, this is absolutely perfection. This is exactly what we needed to get done for this video. So you guys have your graphical interface, you have all the components and controls that you need to get started on this, and we can start mapping this out. So let's go ahead and do some mapping real quick. Let's go to the pop-up menu, and let's start making comments. Send a delete folder command to the client. So this would be like delete folder and the folder to delete, like that, you see? So then we would rename a folder. So for this one, we could just do the same thing. Here, let's just do a comment and just put that in there. And this is to rename. So send a rename folder command to the client. Rename folder and the folder to rename. And let's go to the list drives here as well. So let's save that. List drives. And let's just kind of comment this out. Send a list drives command to the client, and there's going to be nothing over here at all. There'll be no parameters whatsoever on this command. So then we'll do refresh directory. Guys, just send a refresh directory command to the client, refresh directory, and the directory path to be refreshed. Here, I'll just do it like that. There you go. So this helps you to kind of map things out in your head, right? So then we'll do a back, and then this will just be a go back a directory, then send the path back a directory to the client. I'll explain that later. All right, so there's that. We've got all of our comments ready to roll. Then we're going to go to pop-up menu 2, and we're going to do the same damn thing. So send a rename file command to the client. Rename file and the file name to rename in the current directory. So there's that. Send a delete file command to the client. Delete file and the name of the file in the current directory to be deleted. So you guys kind of see where I'm going with all this. Send an encrypt file command to the client. Encrypt file and the file's name in the current directory to be encrypted with lockbox version 3. And decrypt is going to be the same thing. Send a decrypt file command to the client. Decrypt file and the file name to decrypt in the current directory using lockbox version 3. Whoops. Sorry about that, boys. And then download file. Okay, so send a command asking the client to send us a file. How about download file, the file's name in the current directory to download from the client. So this is actually a little bit trickier on this one. We need to save dialog must execute, and we must be prompted to save a file before downloading it. So there we go. And then we're going to upload a file. So for this one, we'll just put, so we could just put like open dialog must show to us. We must select a file to upload to the client side. Send command to client, letting it know a file is coming from us, from our side. Upload file and the file from the open dialog box we are to send. And that's that. So now we can execute a file. So we'll say send a command to the client asking it to execute a file on its endpoint. So the command could be execute file and the file's name to execute within the current directory. And that's all there is to it, boys. And now we're going to do the same damn thing with this. So for this, we'll do like that. Execute a file as endpoint hidden. And execute file hidden. Execute file in the current directory in hidden mode. Okay, great. This is fantastic, boys. So we've got lots of comments here. You guys can probably see as to why I decided to try to chunk this out into multiple videos. It's a lot of sending and receiving back and forth, but also with the graphical interface that we've done here, things can add up pretty quickly. I mean, we're already at past 30 minutes worth of me explaining and showing you guys stuff, and this would have been probably well over an hour to 2 hours had I stuck here and programmed every bit of this for you. So that's why I'm going to try to chunk this into a couple different videos. One for the GUI design and partial programming, of course, but also I want to make sure that I'm explaining everything in very good ways to you, and I don't want to confuse you with tons of code that you're not familiar with. So I hope you guys understood that on the server endpoint, all this stuff with remote file manager and all the T-dictionary stuff that we've done, guys, there's nothing to be confused about. This is all stuff that we've already been doing before. Every bit of this is the same code. I hope you guys realize that all this is the same. All I did was make a whole new copy paste, and that's all I've done, okay? So to create the cloned form, all you have to do is make sure this code is in place everywhere in your whole program for on form create, on destruction, like when you close your program, also on the socket event procedure of on disconnect. You want to make sure that you're looping through and closing all of the forms that are cloned forms, right? So this block of code is used to close out the task manager cloned forms, if any are available. This one is used to close out any remote desktop forms that might be cloned and that are available. This one is to be used for if there's any webcam forms cloned that are available. This one is to be used if there's any audio forms that are available. You know, all that stuff. And this one here is used for file management. This is actually remove file manager form if it is open. So that's that. And then we want to free up the client's data, blah, 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 blah. So all this stuff is just basic shit. So at this point, we're ready to fully implement our file manager, and we're going to be doing that in the next video. So let me just really quickly, before I close this out, because this did take a little while to kind of show you guys how to make this, I want to explain something to you. Whenever we go over here, let's add in a little bit of code. Let's go to our file manager here, and let's look for here. Let's look for an execute command. Let's copy this, and let's hop over to this code. So before we show that form, actually we'll show that form, send a command now over to this client to ask it for a list of drive letters currently in use by Windows. So we're going to paste this in. We're going to say server socket dot execute command. And actually, here, let me do this real fast here, boys. Let's grab. Let's go ahead and do. Let's just do here. Let me find our webcam capture thing here. This is the code that we really need to be using. So let's go back and go back to File Manager and see this line. Go ahead and paste this in. Now for this, we're going to change this and we're going to put list drives. Okay, so we're going to send a command called list drives over to the client. The client is going to loop the drives, shoot them back to us, and we are going to show those drives right here. Okay? So the first thing you should see when you open up File Manager is you're going to get a whole bunch of drives showing right here, like however many drives they're using, right? And you can double click on those drives, and then you'll start seeing stuff appear over here and over here. this will be paths, like folder directory paths, if you will, and this will all be the files that are going to be showing up on the actual stuff, right? So yeah, and as they do show up, we have to tell the client, hey, I want you to loop through all the files and I want you to show them to me. I want you to shoot them back to me. But not only do I want you to find the files and shoot them back to me, I also want you to copy their icons exactly as they exist on the remote machine. In other words, your machine, this machine, the client. So when they shoot over, you're going to get the text of the file's name, the text of the file size, the text of the file's attribute, and the text of the last changed and modified date timestamp of the file. But you're also going to get the icon corresponding to that file. That icon will be stored in memory inside of this file icon's control temporarily until you receive all of the files in that directory. Now, when you receive all the files in the directory, it's going to loop through this super fast and throw all the icons out properly in order next to the thing that you received. Pretty cool, huh? So that's the reason we require this icon T-image list, okay? Now, before you go asking, well, Bitmaster, is that the only way it can be done? No, we can do this 5 trillion different ways. Probably 99999 forever and infinity, billion trillion different ways. This is the way I'm showing you how to do it, okay? All right, so with that being said and done, I think we'll go ahead and stop this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I know we really didn't do much coding. We just set up the cloned form for this, and in the next video we're going to be going through and actually creating the functionality of this file manager. Now, one other thing I will add real quick though, make sure that you guys on the client, make sure that you have a codec, because we're going to actually be using encryption. So make sure you've got a codec and a cryptographic library, okay? And make sure that the codec properties are set up to use that cryptographic codec library, cryptographic library 1. Make sure your chain mode is CBC. Make sure your cipher is AES or triple desk keying option 2. And that's that. You'll just want to make sure that you have those, okay? So this one and this one, add those and do that for the client. And over here, make sure you follow the tutorial, make sure you've got everything set up and are ready to proceed with another video, okay? So until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Again, sorry for the delay on this one, just had a lot of stuff going on lately. You'll just have to be bear with me and be patient. I do have a life outside of this stuff, so I'll try to make videos as soon as I can, but until I do, try to practice on your own. I highly recommend delphibasics.co.uk for those of you who are trying to learn Delphi. It's a really good website and you can learn a lot from it. So I'll see you in the next video, guys, where we will then complete this file manager, okay? I'll check you later. Peace out, guys.